Acton and Marty Burdett are the officials here for game 2. Ball in the air, tap controlled by Columbus. Miles has it on the left side. The Bulldogs control the opening tip. Miles bounces away from the defense out front. Right side with it. Looking for Krakowski. Back for Welmer. Now Miles fires from 15 and has nothing but net. Dan Miles has the first field goal of this ball game, and Columbus North draws first blood.
Dan Miles, a gunner. He's averaging 12.5 on the season offensively.
Loogootee, first time they've handled the ball. Kenny Nigg with Butcher out front. On the left side for Butcher. Now this is Kenny Nigg. Right side with it for Mattingly. Back up top. Very quickly, Kenny Nigg, and they will be extremely patient. They will really work for the good shot. They're good perimeter shooters, but they'd rather have the 8-9 footer than the 15 footer any day. Nigg bounces away from the defense again as they continue to work on the perimeter. On the far side, this is Kenny Nigg. Continues the right hand dribble, pulls up at the point. On the left side with it, quickly it comes for Riggins. Riggins dumps it back up top for Kenny Nigg. Nigg on the near side for Ken Mattingly. For Nigg again at the point. Got it for Butcher, Billy Butcher, averaging 19.5. Slips the ball back, and now it comes from the near wing again. Mark Riggins inside and right back out again. Butcher got his man in the air, but did not take the shot. Top of the key with it for Riggins. Now this is great. This is one way to get to know the players. At the top of the key, Kenny Nigg. Nigg looks over at the Loogootee bench at head coach Jack Butcher and says, "Do you want us to shoot or what do you want to do?" Nigg again at very long range. Drops it back for Butcher. Butcher, right hand dribble as he veers to the left side. Drops it back for Nigg. He penetrates down the key, dumps the pass off the layup. Is no good. Tap up, no good. Rebound, back up, and finally good. The rebound basket by Ken Mattingly. He is only 5'10", but they use him up front. He is their leading rebounder. We're tied at 2 with 6 minutes to play. Out back, Danny Miles on the right side with it for Krakowski. Krakowski looking for Welmer. Bounce to him, slapped away and stolen by Butcher. Here he comes on the run. Bounce on the near side. The driving layup is good. Give Butcher the assist and give Kenny Nigg the field goal. 4-2, Loogootee. They are very, very disciplined. Perhaps the most disciplined team in the state of Indiana. Top of the key, Krakowski on the near side for Welmer, who fires the jumper up and missed everything. The rebound to Loogootee again. Mark Riggins drops it back for Kenny Nigg, and he is not in a hurry, believe me, as he walks to the timeline. Straight across it, splits the double rings, and pulls up at the point. On the near side with it for Riggins. Back up top for Nigg again. Tries to cut through to the near side. Dumps it over here on the wing to Ken Mattingly. Back up top for Nigg. And they just continue to look over at Jack Butcher on the bench. They're going to play catch with it and make Columbus North come out. Nigg and Riggins just playing pitch and catch with it.
They don't want to take on that Columbus North zone defense, however, with Patchell on the inside in there and also Randy Goins in there. Both of them 6'6" and 6'7", firmly planted in there. We just keep going back and forth out front at the top of the key.
They have sent Butcher way down in the corner, and Columbus North is playing a box and one. 4 men in the zone with Miles chasing Butcher everywhere he goes. So actually it's a 4-man zone, and then Miles going head-to-head with Butcher. Miles is the best defensive player that Columbus North has. Bill Stearman says he's probably their most consistent offensive player, although Welmer leads the scoring. 4-2. Loogootee has the lead and the basketball, and they're not about to give it up. Nigg at long range. If I had a poem or a book, I'd read you something. 4:15. We've played nearly 4 minutes here in the first quarter, and we've had 3 field goals. Nigg at the point bounces away from the defense again. Clears it on the near side and takes the return pass. He and Riggins just playing catch with it. And Butcher has moved down to a low post, and he's just going to stand down there and stay out of everybody's way. Actually, right now, it's a 4-on-4 basketball game. Right side for Mattingly and back up top again. Here's Butcher with Miles on him man-to-man. Everybody else in the zone.
They don't want to move against that zone. They don't want to try to run their offense. They want to see Columbus North come out in a man-to-man.
Well, you got to look at it this way, Bob. They've got a 4-2 lead. If this thing would just continue like this, they'd win the ball game 4-2. They got no reason to try and penetrate right here. They want Columbus North to come out. Inside, here's Mattingly, hangs it, blocked away inside, and a whistle and a foul call. The foul is charged to Bill Butcher. Now that's just what Bob was talking about. They finally decided to penetrate, but they're challenging Welmer and Goins inside, and they are big and strong.
They can't do it. We saw them last weekend when they played in that Indianapolis Hinkle Fieldhouse semi-state. That final game against Rushville, it was just it was Columbus North ruling under there with the two big men.
4-2. Miles on the right side for Krakowski. Steve Krakowski back up top for Wilmer. On the left side for Miles. 15-footer, no. Tap once, no. Whistle and a foul underneath. And the foul is on Wilmer, on Patchell rather, I believe, for pushing. See who they give it to. We're going to have a timeout in a minute.
Now watch that. Did you notice when Wilmer came down the floor, Wilmer held up their double diamond, the same type of a sign that we saw early in the tournaments way back in the sectional and regional from North Central. That's their double diamond stall offense. Official calls timeout, and I believe it was just because there was a piece of debris on the floor.
Yeah, I wish he'd quit throwing that stuff. 4-2. I know you want to speed the ball game up.
I was down here for a Pacer game one time, and they tossed the ball up, and somebody threw 3 oranges out on the floor. I didn't know if that was a statement of editorial opinion or...
4-2. Loogootee with a 2-point lead in the basketball. 3:05 to play in the first quarter. Kenny Nigg out back. Now let's see if they've changed the defense any at all. Yeah, they have. Now they're not going. They've done away with that box and one, and Miles is back into the regular defense. Left side, this is Kenny Nigg. Columbus North has come out. Now they're here's Butcher, tries to dump it inside, and Welmer blocks it away. And again, he tried to penetrate and challenge Welmer, and Welmer just slapped the ball right back in his face. 4-2. Columbus North trailing by a pair, but have the ball. Underneath Goins, whirls, fires, and off the glass too heavy. The rebound, battled for, and a whistle and a foul underneath. Danny Miles whistled for the foul as he came up over the back of Nigg. And Miles has drawn his first. That's team foul number 2 in Columbus North. And we have played nearly 5.5 minutes, and it's still 4-2.
And we've got a halftime score at the half in the NCAA Mid-East Regional. Indiana 44, Kentucky 44. A tie game there.
This is Billy Butcher out back. Dumps it off on the far side for Mattingly. Mattingly penetrates, nearly threw it away. Nigg picks it up. Runs into the top of the key and then circles back out. Here on the near side, just in front of us. Baseline right for Butcher. Challenged by Welmer, dumps the pass out, and Goins got a hand on it, slapped it out of bounds. It'll belong to Loogootee. Just in front of press row here. 4-2, Lebanon. Or Loogootee, rather. I'm still looking at that first score. Loogootee will inbound. This will be Bill Butcher. Got it in for Kenny Nigg. Nigg averaging 10.4, Butcher averaging 19.5, and Mattingly 12.3 are the only 3 double-digit scores for Loogootee. Nigg underneath, wide open, Mattingly up and got it.
Oh, what a patient basketball team Loogootee is. Mattingly, they waited for him to open up underneath, and now it appears that Bill Stearman wants a timeout. 6-2 the score, only a minute 53 remaining in the first period of play. We'll be back in 60.
You know, there are all kinds.
With Bob Richards from Market Square Arena. 6-2, and we've down on the clock to a minute 45 in the first quarter. Columbus North has the ball following the timeout. Miles fires the jumper up, baseline right, missed everything heavy. The rebound by Patchell, he's on the end line. He looked at the official as if to say, are you kidding? He came down with the board as the shot was heavy by Miles, missed everything. The rebound to Patchell, but he was right on the end line.
Very, very unusual for Miles to miss it, like you say. Just absolutely everything. Missed the far end of the rim by a good 4 inches.
Well, here we go again. I can remember doing an Illinois ball game once against Valparaiso, and Valparaiso played the same kind of offense they did, and I just read a Canterbury Tales or something, I think. 6-2 Loogootee. They just play catch with it on the perimeter. Here's Butcher, starts a drive, slips it off on the near side. Handled by Riggins. Back for Butcher, got his man in the air, slips it off underneath. Back out again for Butcher. He chases it down, saves it back into Kenny Nigg. Nigg at the point, bounces away from Danny Miles. Now Columbus in a more of a 2-1-2, a sliding 2-1-2 zone. They've done away with that box and one or diamond and one that they were playing before with the one man playing man-to-man on. And here's 3 seconds in the lane. And that's one of the few things that's going to kill a team like Loogootee, and that is a mental mistake. Columbus North looking for their second field goal of the ball game, and we only have 45 seconds to play here in the first period. Miles on the right side for Johnny Patchell. Right hand dribble, belt high, gives it up, holds and looks inside. Welmer whirls, feeds Goins, up and a whistle and a foul. Goins was really hammered inside by Riggins, his first, and again, as Bob and I have been saying, I can't remember it. 2 tournaments, the semi-state and the state finals, when the fouls have been so violent.
Oh, indeed, indeed. We've had players on the floor just from the very beginning, and all of them, and the ball players themselves. Now, Columbus North, they've got some ball players with some pretty good size. As I look out there right now, Dan Miles, he's a good, stocky kid, about 6'2", well-built. potential football player. By the way, the first shot there by Randy Goins was no good. Second one in the air. That one is good. 6-3. Loogootee leading, 34 seconds remaining. But the ball players haven't been that big physically, but they nevertheless have been very violent.
6-3. Loogootee by 3. Billy Butcher in backcourt. For Nig, back for Butcher. For Nig again at the point. Now they work the left side. This is Riggins. Back up top for Nig and for Riggins again. One dribble gives it up. A bounce back outside to Nig. Nig wants there. Now it is Butcher who wants to play for one. 14 seconds on the clock here in the first quarter. Nig was underneath the clock and looked straight up. Nig at the top of the key on the left side. Here's the jumper on the way. It is good. Mark Riggins, the field goal with at the horn. And that's the end of the first quarter. And believe it or not, sports fans, the score. Loogootee 8. Columbus North Bulldogs 3. We pause for 60 seconds on WNAP. Back in Market Square Arena, we are checking the record book here. We've only played one quarter, but we're afraid there might be a record broken already.
Well, we're getting way back into the early 1900s, 1914, when Wingate beat Anderson 36-8 for the championship, and the year before that it was a 15-14 game. Within the last decade, probably the lowest scoring game would have been the Lafayette Jeff Huntington game, 58-55. Lafayette that winner.
The second quarter tap is controlled by Columbus North. They trail 8-3 here in the ball game. Danny Miles up top. On the left side, Patchell inside for Randy Goins. He's on the end line again, and it's another turnover. It belongs to the Lions of Loogootee. They came out of the Evansville semi-state. They are the smallest school remaining in the field coming into today's play. But we have seen one team go by the wayside already this afternoon as the fine Lebanon Ball Club was beaten by Marion in the first game. Left side for Kenny Nig. Nig bounces back up to the top of the key.
Got a man-to-man out there now.
They almost had to come out in a man-to-man. That's the third defense that Columbus North has used since the ball game started, and we're just underway in the second quarter. Butcher with a whirling move outside, has the ball slapped away from him. Tipped back in, still loose on the floor, picked up by Columbus North. Ball picked up by John Patchell for Krakowski, and now for Danny Miles on the near side at very long range. 25, 30 feet away, backs out near the timeline. Right side for Patchell. Patchell with that hand, his left hand, very heavily taped. Here's Krakowski, starts to drive. Miles fires the jumper up and missed it heavy again. The rebound, Welmer had it, lost it. Butcher takes a shot to the head and nearly goes down. He whirled around. He was staggered by a blow to the head, unintentional. He slips the ball off and Nig clears the timeline. Running inside and holding is Riggins, and a whistle and a foul call. The foul is charged to John Patchell, his second and the team's third. Common foul, out of bounds once again to the Lions of Loogootee. They lead 8-3, and we are almost a minute and a half here into the second quarter. Nig for Butcher. Incredible that Butcher could average 19.5 on a ball club that uses this kind of delay offense. Right side for Kenny Mattingly. Back up top with it, Riggins. One guy in the ball game, Walls, I don't believe, has touched the ball in an offensive series. Here's a collision in the lane and a whistle and a foul on Randy Goins. On Goins, that is personal foul number 1. That's team foul number 4. As that time, Mattingly and Goins in the key. Mattingly trying to veer across the key and Goins trying to protect the lane. Collided, and Goins has whistled for the block.
Question is, have they used this delay before? They scored 62 and 58 points in the remaining 2 games of their semi-state.
I think that here's the jumper by Butcher. It bounds over the top of the backboard. It's out of bounds, and it's going to belong to Columbus North. I think at least from what I read and what apparently Jack Butcher said, Bob, was that they would play this kind of game if they had to. Maybe the other teams in the semi-state came out and tried to get a man-to-man. 8-3, top of the key. This is Krakowski, runs into the lane, penetrates 15 feet, jumper is good. The 15-footer by Krakowski, his first field goal. Columbus North's second field goal, and it's 8-5. Loogootee has not scored here in the second quarter. Here's Nig, he runs down the key, dumps it back outside for Butcher. Left side with it for Mark Riggins. Riggins for Butcher. Butcher slips it back for Nig. The crowd isn't all that restless yet, but they're going to be in a minute. Nig bounces a couple of dribbles and gives it up for Butcher. Starts to drive, has to give it up. He is trapped, double teamed. Backdoor play. Kenny Nigg slips the pass off for Walls. It's out of bounds. Going to go to Columbus North.
The only thing that saved that was the inability of Walls to get to the basketball. It's the only thing that prevented a sure 2 points underneath for Loogootee. They're a very patient ball club. It took us 2 minutes to get a score here in the second period.
Out back, this is Krakowski. Right side with it for Welmer. He's averaging better than 16. Tries to hang it up over the head of Butcher, and Butcher bats it out of bounds. It'll be out of bounds on the far side. Steve Krakowski will trigger it in. 8-5 Loogootee. 5-3. Out back, Patchell. He waves for somebody to come out and help him. Miles dead baseline right. Starts to drive, puts it on the floor, gives it up, and slips it back out for Patchell. Patchell for Welmer at long range on the right side. Welmer inside. Tried to get it in, and it's knocked away, and a whistle and a foul call. I'll tell you, 53, Mike Walls, 6'3", a senior for Loogootee, is
210 pounds at 6'3". He is a stocky youngster.
Yep. Inside Goins puts the shot up. It's on the rim, no good. Tapped up, no. And the rebound, a Butcher of Loogootee. In fact, it almost appears that, well, I better not say that. I don't want to get in trouble. 8-5. At long range, Nigg. I was going to say that it looked like he trained on beer and hot dogs, but I better not. 8-5. They continue in that delay type offense, just picking and choosing their openings. Into the key, slipped off. Walls has it. Back out. That's one of the few times in the offensive series that he's handled the basketball. Top of the key for Nigg. Left side with it. This is Riggins. Riggins for Walls. And back for Riggins. And now it is Butcher on the left side. Penetrates down toward the baseline and then comes back out with it. Nigg runs. They go to the back door and it's stolen away. Patchell loops it ahead and it's stolen right back by Kenny Nigg. Nigg holds and looks. Got it out back for Butcher. Billy the Kid on the near side with it for Nigg. Back again. Riggins and Nigg and now Butcher. They all just play catch with it out front. 3:53 to play here in the second period. The driving shot by Butcher is no good, and a whistle and a foul call. The foul charge to Krakowski, his first, and they're in the 1-and-1, and so that will send Butcher to the line. 8-5, and Loogootee has not scored here. We have played, well, 4.5 minutes almost.
Right, we've played 4 minutes of basketball. Loogootee has not scored. We've only had one score at all, and that was Krakowski's 15-footer with about 2 minutes past.
At the line, Butcher's free throw is good. Billy Butcher, nothing but net. His first point of the ball game. 19.5 scoring average, an all-state candidate. 9-5 Loogootee. On the way and good again. 10-5 Loogootee. Columbus North now with the basketball has one of their few opportunities to get something done offensively. They just simply have not had the ball much. I'd like to have a clock with time of possession on it. Here's the jumper by Goins. He missed it. The rebound fought for underneath off of last touch by Butcher underneath, and it's going to go to Columbus North. As they do in football, they count time of possession, and Loogootee is just unbelievable how long they hold the ball before they'll even attempt a shot or a drive. 10-5, the Lions lead by 5. Welmer takes the inbounds pass, baseline left at long range, holding and looking, cross court with it. Tell you another thing though that Loogootee does, and I think Bob would agree, they play pretty good defense.
Oh,
they don't give you much.
Indeed, that zone is very, very effective, and it does not let you go inside. Okay. Basket, Dave Welmer, 20-footer from the near side. I was just going to say that we have seen Welmer handling the ball out there. He can shoot from outrageous distances, and I was expecting something from him.
Out back, Loogootee. Underneath, the shot by Walls is good, and he's fouled underneath. Walls went up with it, took it right to the hole, and the personal foul is charged to Patchell, and that's 3 on Patchell already.
When you're running a delay type of offense, or a stall practically, making the opponent come out, the time of possession is so great. I think one of the other disadvantages for Columbus North, the Bulldogs right now, is they haven't had the opportunity to get their offense moving, to get their nerves settled on offense.
Good point. I'll tell you something else, too. There may be, the free throw is up and good. The three-point play is completed by Walls. but they may, Bob, also be just a little bit overeager on defense trying to get the ball back, and consequently Patchell has already drawn 3 personals. 2:54 to play. Patchell into the key, has the ball slapped loose on the floor. Goins chases it down, baseline right. Backs in against 2 men. Shovels it back out. Krakowski, top of the key on the right-hand side. Now at the point, Welmer, he drives inside, hangs and fires and missed it short off the mark. The rebound hauled down by Loogootee. Kenny Nigg has it, and a whistle and a foul charge to Randy Goins. Goins, and again, there's just a case of being impatient. Goins reaching in after Nigg had clearly gotten possession of the ball on the rebound. Goins flailed at him inside and is whistled for the foul, his second.
There's just absolutely no doubt in my mind, and I don't think there's any doubt of anybody in the arena, especially Bill Stearman, that right now the gentleman that has the control on this whole game is Jack Butcher over there on that Loogootee bench. First free throw by Nigg is good. He's got a second one coming. They're on 1-1 now, but the whole control is coming from Loogootee. Columbus North has absolutely no say in what's going on in this basketball game.
Loogootee, as you pointed out, dictating both offensively and defensively exactly what Columbus North can do. Miles, belt high dribble to the top of the key. Gives up the dribble. Looks out back for Patchell. Left side for Welmer. He's fired it up the last 2 times he touched it. He holds and looks, dumps it out back. Krakowski to the left side with a right-hand dribble. Looking for Miles inside and couldn't get it to it. Patchell as Welmer cuts across the key. Back up top with it for Danny Miles again. Miles on the left side. We have 2 minutes and 10 seconds to play in the first half. 15-7, Loogootee. Goins from 17 forced it a bit and hit it. Goins said the heck with this stuff and put it in the hole. 15-9 with 1:57 to play. Nigg across the timeline as Columbus North being much more aggressive defensively now in that man-to-man. Here's a steal by Goins. Behind his back pass. A beauty to Krakowski. He lost the handle and a whistle and a foul call. The foul is charged to Mark Riggins. But what a feed from Goins to Krakowski. And then Krakowski, I think, as much out of surprise as anything else, mishandled it.
I can't... Now there's hands in the air. Okay, we're going to have the inbounds play. That's what they were signaling. I saw Welmer's hand go up there for a moment, and I thought that he was claiming a foul.
Welmer has the inbounds pass as it's triggered in from Miles. Backcourt at very long range for Patchell. Couple of dribbles. He nearly lost the handle on it, and he double dribbled. Well, that is the kind of thing, as Bob pointed out, with Loogootee dictating the terms of the ball game thus far. That's the kind of mistake that Columbus North can ill afford at this point.
They cannot afford it. They've got to have the time to set up their offensive machine and get those wheels running smoothly.
Butcher for Mattingly and back for Butcher again. Cutting across the key is Riggins. He moves up to the high post. Here Butcher puts on a little dribbling show outside, and a jump ball is called.
5 seconds.
1:29 to play, and Butcher will jump with Steve Krakowski. Krakowski is 6'4", Butcher 6'2". I think Butcher is probably a pretty good jumper. He appeared to be when they were warming up. Let's see here. Krakowski with a height advantage. 15-9, and they're trying to get everybody organized here. Now we're going to go. The tip is up and controlled by, well, both of them really. Miles saves it back into Welmer. Here on the near side. Welmer cross court with it for Krakowski. Krakowski walks the ball across the timeline, penetrates to the key, fires for Goins, whose 17-footer is on the rim and not good. Tap is not good. Tap again, no. And a whistle and a foul underneath. The foul is charged underneath to Ken Mattingly, his first.
Mattingly on the back of Welmer that time. Welmer be going to the free throw line. Still not on 1-1. That's only the... or rather, that is the 15th foul.
Here is Welmer's free throw. It is on the way and good. Welmer now with 3 points in the ball game. 3 of Columbus North's 10. 15-10 as they continue to whittle away at that lead. Up and good again. 15-11. Loogootee by 4. Now Butcher holds the hand in the air and wants the set play. Little head and shoulder fake outside. He runs back to the near side. Circling and continues to dribble. Now gives it up. Here's Kenny Nigg holding. Cross court with it for Butcher with 58 seconds. Clock in the red. They set the double screen outside. On the near side with it. Here's the jumper by Butcher. He missed it short. The rebound of Loogootee out of bounds to Columbus North. The rebound came down into the hands of Riggins. Baseline left about 5 feet away. But he tried to put it on the floor and go to the hoop with it. And he dribbled it off his foot.
Second half has gotten underway in the NCAA Regional. Kentucky is now leading IU 53-48.
Top of the key, holding and looking. This is Krakowski. Now for Welmer. Couple of dribbles. He's about 17 feet away. Left side, Krakowski looking for Goins inside and couldn't get it to him. Still looking. Now they go baseline left for Patchell. Inside Welmer. Fall away 9-footers. In and out, no good. Rebound again to Bill Butcher, the 6'2 senior. Controls the rebound. And with 18 seconds to play, the Lions should get the last shot here. Mark Riggins for Nig. Drives to the left side with 11 seconds. 10, 9. Butcher for Mattingly. Here's the shot by Nig. It is good. Nothing but net with 4 seconds to play in the first half. Kenny Nig has his second field goal, and that's the end of the first half. Check it. Loogootee 17. Columbus North 11. Halftime score. We're back in 2 minutes on WNAP. 13-11. Loogootee with the 6-point lead right now. Wall steps in with Welmer. The tap controlled by nobody. We're going to do it all over again. The official didn't get the ball high enough in the air. Both men flailed at it, but we'll do it all over again. Welmer against Walls. The tap controlled by Welmer. Columbus North control. Goins finally rights himself and figures out which way Columbus North is going, and they control the basketball. Up top, holding and looking, Krakowski for Danny Miles. Miles at the point against the Loogootee zone. And lest we take anything away from Loogootee, just because of that slow style of play, they do play a very aggressive zone defense. They're a good defensive club.
Yeah, we had a 5-second there. 5 seconds outside the hash mark. We're going to have a jump ball.
Miles will step in and jump with Butcher. Butcher is probably the quickest of all of the Loogootee players and perhaps one of their better jumpers, despite the fact that he's only 6'2". He controls the tap. Nig has it. He backs away from the defense into backcourt. Now clears the timeline and comes to the right side for Butcher. He tries to run by Danny Miles down the right side and can't do it. Comes back up top with it. Holding and looking is Riggins. Riggins for Nig. Starts to drive, penetrates into the key, dumps the pass off, and a palming violation. He turned the ball over. And a timeout called immediately here. 17-11, no scoring as of yet. 7:23 to play here in the third period. We'll pause for 60 seconds in WNAP.
There's only one Gatorade, right? Well, actually, now there are two. Original Gatorade Thirst Quencher was first against thirst on more basketball benches, football and baseball teams, and tennis courts than any other beverage. But now there's also carbonated Gatorade, a great-tasting soft drink. Unlike ordinary soda pops, carbonated Gatorade is more than a mouth refresher. Never leaves you filled up but still thirsty. And just like the original, carbonated Gatorade is specially made to refresh your whole body. And are you going to love that fresh, lively taste? Carbonated Gatorade is bright and bubbly. Its natural lemon lime tang is nothing like sweet soda pops. So pick some up at your favorite food store. Look for the green can with the orange lightning bolt in the carbonated beverage section. Remember, now there's Gatorade and carbonated Gatorade. Take your pick.
Columbus controls following the timeout. Thayer has come on for the Bulldogs. The jumper by Goins rims it in and out, and the rebound to Loogootee. The rebound hauled down by Mark Riggins.
And we have got a 61-61 tie with 1:30 remaining. IU and Kentucky in that regional.
17-11 here in Market Square. Right side for Walls. He holds up, comes back up front for Butcher, swings around to the left side. Nig now working from left to right with a right-hand dribble. Kicks it off, Mattingly, holds, and looks. Comes back outside down the lane. The drive started, and then they pull up and come back out again with it. Butcher on the wing on the right side at long range. Starts to drive, penetrates in the key, double pumps, and missed it. Rebound, fought for, cleared by Loogootee, tapped up on the air, and a foul called. The foul is charged underneath to Steve Krakowski, his second. And on the common foul, it'll, no.
Well, they're going to go to the line. They're going to say it was in the act of shooting.
Strange, but they send to the line Ken Mattingly, 5'10" junior. He eyes the bucket. It is on the rim and in the bucket. Mattingly now 1 of 1, and they continue to be perfect from the free throw line. In the first half, they shot 600 from the field, while Columbus North shot 267. The second one is up and good. Well, as Bob talked about that 6-point lead, it's now grown to 8. He said you had to use that multiplication factor, and right now they have shut off Columbus North in the second half here. Down the lane, Miles leans in and fires and scores.
Beautiful feed there from Welmer. Welmer getting the assist.
Miles cuts the lead back to 6 at 19-13. Across the timeline, Nig for Butcher, way out near the timeline above the hash mark. Penetrates below it, comes back up front with it. Holding is Riggins. Round the horn they come. Kenny Nig backs away from the defense, high post. Got it for Mattingly, back for Nig. Luke cross court, Riggins, and now Nig again. Left-hand dribble to the left side. Drops it off for Billy Butcher. Bill wants to go one-on-one. They got him isolated. He cannot penetrate. Back up top again for Nig on the right side. And now, again, there they go. They got the back door. The shot is missed and tapped up, and a whistle and a foul called underneath. The foul is charged to Krakowski. Krakowski's third personal foul. He has 3, and John Patchell 3 for Columbus. Here comes Patchell into the ball game, and Krakowski will leave. It is now Miles, along with Goins, Patchell, Welmer, and Craig Thayer for Columbus North's Bulldogs. At the free throw line will be Mark Riggins.
Not a surprise to see Thayer in the game, and last weekend in the semi-state, Thayer was the number 6 man that Coach Stearman relied on heavily against Rushville.
The free throw by Riggins is up and good. He was the only man not to have been to the free throw line, and they still are perfect from the line. 2, 4, 6, 8 of 8.
Last possession down the floor for Loogootee. You could hear almost a mantra-type chant. The second free throw is good, by the way, 21-13. A mantra-type chant coming from the Columbus fans trying to get to that Loogootee squad, but they haven't cracked.
Goins dumps it away, and it's stolen. The errant pass is picked off by Butcher. He runs one-on-one, veers in the lane, leans, fires, scores! The field goal by Butcher with a beautiful drive. Goins puts a shot up, but a whistle.
He
walking.
He walked with it.
The turnovers could be very costly here. And now the Columbus players again hold that fist in the air, and they're going to come out and try and trap near the timeline. Penetrating is Butcher off the leg of Welmer, but it's going to go to Loogootee. It carromed off Welmer's leg. And now Columbus North's Bulldogs are going to try and be much more aggressive defensively. They trail by 10 at 23-13. This is the biggest lead that either team has enjoyed.
Waning seconds of the NCAA Regional. Kentucky 69, Indiana 68.
Spinning around his man is Butcher, but a whistle out back, and an offensive foul is called. The foul is charged to Kenny Nig, an offensive foul up top, and the ball belongs to Columbus North. 23-13. Danny Miles, top of the key. Belt high dribble, gives it up. Patchell holds and looks inside. Couple of dribbles to the baseline, fall away 9-footer is good. Nothing but net. John Patchell, his first field goal of the game. Now the defensive pressure again at the timeline. Looped ahead. Nig for Butcher. Spins to the left side. Bounce back door. The layup is a beauty.
Beautiful ball handling ability. Oh,
Ken Mattingly was on the receiving end, but as Bob indicated, there were 2 passes that absolutely set him up picture perfect. 25-15, back to the 10-point lead. Miles from the twilight zone, no. Short off the mark to the right side. The rebound of Welmer. He put it back up and missed it. And the rebound of Walls inside. It belongs to Loogootee. Slapped away from Walls. Chased down by Randy Goins of Columbus North. Slapped away from him and picked up again by John Patchell of North. The Bulldogs control. Thayer running the offense from the point. Walks to the defense. Looks left, then right. Patchell has it. Holds and looks. Back up top for Miles. Down the boulevard. Stops and shovels it out on the left side, and a foul is called. The foul charge to Kenny Nig, his second. Reaching in and stabbing at the ball as Miles penetrated the free throw line. Common foul. It'll be out of bounds to Columbus North. Welmer holds his hand up and says we want set play, inbounds play number 2. 25-15. Miles loops it in for Welmer, baseline right. Outside for Thayer. Now for Miles, tries to hook it inside, does to Welmer. Great move, the layup good. Beautiful move.
Tremendous reaching, stepping, driving, lightning quick ability. Dave Welmer used every inch of that 6'7" frame that time to get around the 2 defensemen.
25-17. We're still keeping our eye on that Indiana-Kentucky score for you. We'll pass it along as it changes. Inside, here's the back door again, and the layup good again. Ken Mattingly. as they lobbed the pass into the back door. Baseline right. Mattingly got the easy one. 27-17 and timeout called with 3:37 to play here in period 3. 73-70, Kentucky leading Indiana. I don't believe that's a final yet. We'll pause for 60 seconds on WNAP.
Yeah.
Miles on the near side for Krakowski as Columbus North has the ball, but they trail 27-17 by 10. 10 points is the biggest lead that Loogootee has owned. There's a whistle and a foul away from the ball. Foul called inside. A blocking foul. The foul is charged to Walls, his first. And again, the inbounds play upcoming just in front of us here. Underneath the Columbus basket, Danny Miles will inbound. 27-17, Miles for David Welmer. Up top for Craig Thayer. Thayer, one dribble, gives it up. Inside Welmer, whirls in the lane, fires the shot up short off the mark, and the rebound hauled down by Loogootee. Bill Butcher, right-hand dribble as he clears the timeline on the left side. Baseline with it for Mattingly, up top for Nig, and now for Butcher on the near side. Cross court, one bounce, two bounces. Given up. Riggins holds at long range. Welmer, or Patchell rather, on him. Here's a whistle and a foul in backcourt. Walking. Another turnover.
Well, that's 3 turnovers here in the second half. And boys, Kentucky stretching out that lead now, 77-70. Kentucky out in front of IU, and they're just moments away from wrapping that one up.
Here's Patchell on the far side. Comes back up top with it. Krakowski wants one from 17. He missed it. The rebound to Loogootee again. Hauled down in the lane by Riggins. Bounce out on the right side for Mattingly. Mattingly looking for Kenny Nig and got him near the timeline. Cross court with it for Bill Butcher. Butcher, cross court for Kenny Nig. Nig to the top of the key. Loops it off at the baseline. Mattingly whirls, dumps it back outside. Nig backs away from the defense. Nig spins to the left side. Gives it up for Butcher. Inside high post. Bounce back door again. Mattingly has a shot blocked by Welmer.
Boy.
Blocked out of bounds. A beautiful defensive play by David Welmer to save a sure basket.
Well, it was a good offensive play, though, too. Kenny Nig taking the pass from Ken Mattingly and immediately feeding it right back in there around behind Randy Goins.
Butcher has to come at very long range with the inbounds pass. Takes the return pass and then gives it back up. Now it is Butcher trying to direct traffic. Pulls up at long range, slips it inside. Mattingly backdoor again, no good. The rebound inside of Walls. Battles with him. He puts it up and missed it again. Tap, no, and a whistle and a foul inside. Walls, like a baby bull inside, just went strong to the basket with 2 men hanging on him. He will go to the free throw line. Krakowski has picked up his 4th personal foul.
You can't really say that Mike Walls is much of a jumper with at 6'3", 210 pounds, but he's such a side of beef in there. If the ball comes near him and he gets a hold of it or he's in within range of it, he's not going to be blasted away. His first shot is good. Second one forthcoming, 28-17. Loogootee out in front of Columbus North. The bonus shot goes through also. I don't believe they've missed from the free throw line.
11 of 11. 29-17, a 12-point lead. Now that is the biggest lead that Loogootee has owned. Inside, stolen away by Walls. He drops it back for Bill Butcher. Billy the Kid with a right-hand dribble to the right side for Kenny Nig. Nig backs away from 2 men. Dumps it ahead. Holding and looking Mattingly. Left side for Butcher. They've gone to that back door on that right side. Inside, baseline, threw it away, picked it back up. Riggins tried to shove it off the baseline for Walls. It was batted right back at him, and he was able to control it. Riggins, right side with it for Nig. He holds, dumps it cross court again. Riggins holding above his head, backs away from the defense again, out near the timeline. They are chasing the ball now, trying to go after the ball. Columbus North coming out and forcing Loogootee really to play on the perimeter right now, but Loogootee doesn't care. They have the lead, 29-17. Inside, the jumper by Walls is short. The battle for the board. It's loose on the floor. Picked up by Loogootee. It's up again and not good. And finally, the rebound to Welmer. Welmer says, I'll bring it up myself. He clears the timeline, runs down the right side, dumps it in the key. The jumper by Krakowski is good. Steve Krakowski with his 2nd field goal. 29-19, back to a 10-point lead. Bill Butcher at long range with 42 seconds on the clock in the red here in the 3rd period. Marion won the first ball game. The winner of this game will face them tonight. Good play at the back door again and again. The field goal is good. Kenny Mattingly. They have worked that same play, Bob, on about 5 occasions.
It's incredible standing there, flat-footed, star-eyed. It wasn't. I thought it was Welmer for a minute, but I guess the man that collects the sin, John Patchell, had his back turned, and it was Katie bar the gate. They were wide open, and they've exercised it so many times this afternoon. IU right now is trailing Kentucky 79-72. 27 seconds remaining here in the third period of our game. The semifinal round of the state tournament. Well, in the state tournament, this to decide who will be facing Marion tonight. 31-19 our score. Loogootee out in front. The timeout called by Columbus North. It's incredible here. We've seen Loogootee going to the air, getting the ball up there about an equal amount of times. They put the ball up a grand total of 10 times so far here in the second half. 8 times for Columbus. Columbus has managed to hit 4 for 4, 4 for 10 for Loogootee, but the boards, the size that Columbus North should have on those boards, they're not there. Patchell, Welmer, they appear to be either have grease on their fingers or rivets in their shoes because the shorter people, Mattingly at a 5'10 forward. Also Mark Riggins at a forward, and Mike Walls 6'3", but yet he's a very stocky youngster, not a very good jumper. But they are out rebounding the Columbus Bulldogs right now to the tune of 8-3.
That's got to be one of the keys, and there are many of them, but in this particular ball game, because it's been a game really of just differing strategies by the two coaches. Thayer on the far side for the Bulldogs with 17 seconds to play. Fires the jumper up and missed it. The rebound, battle for it, out of bounds to Loogootee. Miles battling with Riggins underneath, and Miles lost his balance as he came down, and it rolled off his leg. Butcher looking to inbound, pulls the trigger on it and got it ahead for Mattingly. Now Nig runs across the timeline, the feed for Walls. He controls it, dumps it back for Butcher with 7 seconds, 6. Here's Nig on the far side. He fires the jumper up. He missed it. Tapped around in the lane, and that is the end of the third period with the score. Loogootee 31, Columbus North 19. We pause for 1 minute on your tourney station. We pause for 1 minute on your tourney station, WNAP.
Minutes 48 seconds remaining in the half at the Mid-East Regional, and we have Kentucky leading Indiana University. The Hoosiers down 85-75. That's with 4:48 remaining. We're about ready to start the fourth and final quarter of this game in the state tournament with Loogootee leading Columbus Mid-East Regional. And we have Kentucky leading Indiana University. The Hoosiers down 85-75. That's with 4:48 remaining. We're about ready to start the fourth and final quarter of this game in the state tournament with Loogootee leading Columbus North 31-19. And it's been Loogootee every inch of the way. They've called every shot, every one of them.
Here's the fourth and final quarter tap controlled by Columbus North. Thayer inside for Welmer. Great move. The lady blew it at point-blank range, and a rebound of Loogootee. Welmer at point-blank range. Hammered it off the heel of the rim underneath side. And Loogootee clears it down court. Kenny Nig to the right side. Holds and looks, loops it in the corner. Back door again. Spinning away Mattingly. Dumps it outside. This is Riggins. He starts to drive. Gives it up. Butcher holding and looking. Puts it on the floor a couple of times. Spins around his man. Can't free himself. Looking at long range for Kenny Nig. Got it to him, and now Riggins cross court. Riggins clears it, top of the key. Here's Butcher. He was alone momentarily. Baseline left. Inside, Mattingly's shot is not good, and he walked with it anyway. Mattingly stumbling into the lane. Called for the walk. 31-19. Loogootee, as near as I could figure, going back 10 years in a state championship ball game, the least amount of points scored has been 52. 31-19. Usually that was in a losing cause. On the left side, Thayer holds, and he is in traffic. Skips it out for Miles, penetrates, can't fire. His big guy Walls just steps out and blocks his path. Krakowski, top of the key. Looped in the corner for Danny Miles. Miles holds and looks inside for Welmer. Backs, and can't fire. Dumps it outside for Thayer, but 3 seconds in the lane. Welmer gave up the dribble while he was still in the lane, and then he was trapped too far under the basket. He couldn't lean back out and put it up.
That was the first time in the tournament, in the 3 games that I have seen Welmer play, that he's actually shown a little bit of emotion. It was one of disgust, one of a little bit of defeat on that particular play anyway. But generally, he's a very, very deadpan ball player.
Thayer sits down for Columbus North, and back in comes Randy Goins. He's the muscle man for Columbus, and they could use him right now because the game inside offensively for Columbus has gotten considerably more physical than it was in the early going. Butcher inbounds for Riggins. Mark Riggins averaged 5.6 in the year. Looped ahead from Mattingly to Butcher. He had 19 plus average on the season, but he has only 4 points in this game. Slipped off and nearly stolen. Picked back up by Riggins, and a whistle and a foul called. The foul is charged to Steve Krakowski, and that should be 5 on him.
Krakowski is the ball handler for Columbus North. He's the little floor general.
Well, apparently I was wrong again.
4.
It's only about the 4th time this afternoon I've been wrong. But this is the first time I've ever been wrong anywhere else.
Cochran would tell you, don't ever leave me with a line like that.
The jumper up and good underneath as they slipped it underneath to Mike Walls, and he has his second field goal. It's now 33-19. And Columbus North with still looking for the first field goal here in the 4th period. Krakowski from outside has the first field goal, his 3rd. And he leads all scorers for Columbus with 6 points, believe it or not. 33-21. Nearly stolen, picked up by Kenny Nigg in backcourt as Loogootee controls on the left side. Baseline left for Walls. Back up. Here's Riggins, runs into the key, dumps it off for Walls. Whirls around his man, and somebody falls to the floor. That was Goins. He gets back up. And Loogootee continuing inside. The driving pass off from Butcher, intended for Walls, is slapped away on a saving defensive play.
Similar pattern to the one we saw this afternoon earlier with Marion, where they would have one man driving down the lane and they'd have a safety valve man off to the one side of him. That was the position that Walls was playing. The pass was deflected, however, and Loogootee will have it out of bounds.
Butcher will trigger it in. Got it in. This is Kenny Nigg. Right-hand dribble as he circles around the top of the key from left to right. At the top, inside for Walls, high post. He dumps it back out. That's usually when they set up that backdoor play, is when they send Walls to the high post. Now it is Mattingly along with Butcher playing catch with it. Butcher holds at very long range. Miles out to play the D on him. He runs by him, dumps it back outside for Kenny Nigg. They get the good penetration. They still don't take the shot. Out front it is. Nigg runs by his man and a whistle and a foul in backcourt. Patchell, the intentional foul. He'll get, I am sure that they'll give Riggins 2 shots. The foul is charged.
1-1.
John Patchell, his 4th. Well, that's number 5. Mistake-wise, that is. At the free throw line will be Mark Riggins. A 1-1 situation. Up and good. They still have yet to miss from the free throw line. Riggins is 3 of 3. 3, 6, 8, 10, 12 of 12 as a team. 34-21. Riggins again. Cocks the arm, pulls the trigger, and got it again. 4 of 4 for Riggins. 13 of 13 as a team. 35-21. This is Krakowski at the point. Inside for Goins, slapped away and stolen. Picked up by Riggins. He drops it back for Butcher. Looped ahead for Kenny Nigg. Runs across the timeline on the left side. Spins away from the defense. Whirls the pass back outside. Butcher darts by one man, slips it inside. Here's the hook pass at the baseline intended for Walls. Batted away and stolen. Picked up by Wellmer. By Patchell, he runs through traffic. Goins has it. Baseline, and I'll tell you, when things go bad, they really go bad. Goins started to move to the baseline right side and just mishandled the ball. Turnover, and it belongs to Loogootee. Columbus seemingly here can do nothing right. Here's Nigg. He runs by everybody down the lane, kicks the pass off the Walls. The layup is good, and he's fouled. Walls with a layup. As that time, Nigg penetrated through everybody, ran down the lane, and as Bob indicated, just slipped it off the Walls. Walls goes to the free throw line to try and complete the three-point play. 37-21. And who'd have believed this? 16-point difference between the two clubs right here.
I was just going to comment that the 16 points have just more or less appeared. The game has not been that fast a game. The free throw by Walls is good, 38-21. The 17 points have just more or less appeared. They haven't, it hasn't been an explosive type thing, very deliberate.
38-21. Here's the jumper by Miles on the rim and not good. The tap, Wellmer, is not good. He follows again and not good. The rebound, fought for, and off with it comes Loogootee. Walls has the rebound. The outlet passes on the far side for Mattingly. Bounce ahead for Butcher. He races down to the right side, pulls up below the hash mark and circles back out as Miles, along with Krakowski, double team him, and Krakowski is on his back and whistled for the foul. Now let's see if I'm right. That should be 5 on Krakowski. It is.
It is. He's going to have to sit down, and coming in to replace him will be Maurice Jordan. Now that's a switch.
What, the Maurice first name or?
No, not Maurice. I was looking for Thayer, actually.
I was too, to be honest with you.
Because Thayer is generally the number 6 man for Coach Stearman. It could possibly be that Bill thinks he can get some better outside shooting out of Jordan, and that's why he brought him in. 5'11", 155-pound senior, 38-21, going to the free throw line again. To the well, Bill Butcher, and he scores again. They have not missed from the free throw line. Only 10 points scored in the whole second half here so far by Columbus North. An outstanding defensive job done.
Butcher again eyes the bucket on the way and in the bucket. They now are 16 of 16 from the free throw line. 40-21, a 19-point lead. 4:19 to play.
Had one game in the semi-state where a team didn't even go to the free throw line.
Inside, backing is Patchell. He fires the shot up, and a foul is called on Walls underneath. Mike Walls draws his second personal foul. Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say that again is very unusual because Walls has been having to battle those two big men, Welmer and Patchell in particular, and they've got that tremendous height advantage against him, and yet the big men haven't been able to do it. They haven't been able to get the job done.
Kentucky 90, Indiana 85, and I'm not sure whether that's a final or not. And now I'll tell you how bad things are going. Patchell just put it up, and if there wasn't a floor here, that thing would have ended up in China. He missed everything. Patchell is 0 of 1 from the free throw line. He missed the basket, backboard, and nearly the floor by about 20 feet. On the way, it is no good the second time. He put it up too heavy. The rebound controlled by Mattingly. Knocked loose on the floor. Mattingly tries to run through traffic. A whistle. 2 men go down on the floor, and a whistle and a foul call on Loogootee's Ken Mattingly, his second. And now it is Columbus North, though, almost as if they anticipate defeat here. They're playing like they're frustrated.
They look, I hate to give up the ghost yet on any ball club in any game, but it appears to me that from the look of Patchell, again, Patchell and Welmer, both of them, and now as I cast my gaze a little more over to the left, I can pick up the look on Dan Miles' face. It's one of just, well, gentlemen, let's get this one over with.
The free throw by Jordan is up and good. 40-22. I'll tell you, I wouldn't have believed it. Second one is up and second one is good. Jordan is 2 of 2 now from the free throw line. 40-23. Not that I didn't believe Loogootee could win the ball game. I just wouldn't have believed it had been like. Here's Walls again at the other end.
Molested. He'd been standing down underneath there. There was nobody near him. He'd been standing under there ever since the free throws were shot.
Randy Goins in traffic. Baseline right. Stutter step move. Lost the ball. Got it back. Dumps it outside. Patchell runs into the key. Hangs. Fires on the rim and no good. The tap up and no good, and a foul call. A whistle and a foul inside. 3:44 to play. 42-23. And a timeout taken here by Columbus North again. 90-88 Kentucky by 2, and I don't know whether that's a final or not. We'll find out in a minute. We pause for 1 minute on your turning station, WNAP.
Rushville had over Muncie North and Sammy Drummer. I don't know, from looking at it, you can always say, well, gee, this is the way it would have been if, but from the defense, although Loogootee's playing extremely fine defense, I wonder sometimes if it would have been just the other way around. Muncie North would have gotten in here if they could have contained Sammy Drummer.
That's the point that we brought up when we were talking off the air at halftime. And I don't know, I guess there are a lot of things when you get to a tournament like this, a single elimination affair, that you see some ball clubs along the way that you feel, very easily could have been here this afternoon. Welmer hits both free throws. And David Welmer, who came in averaging 16.3, has been held to just 8 points so far. At the other end, quickly back and again. Mattingly, unbelievable. 44-25. Goins fires a jumper up, but a whistle and a walking is called. And again, when things go bad, everything goes bad. Goins whistled for the walk, and Loogootee will have it again. Butcher lobs it down for Riggins. Riggins cross court, bounce at the baseline for Walls. Back up top again. Around to the right side, Kenny Nigg penetrates by Patchell, kicked away by Goins, and it's going to be out of bounds to Loogootee. Goins got it with his foot. 44-25 with 3:24 to play in the ball game. 92-90 Kentucky. As we look up at the scoreboard down here at one end of the Market Square. Butcher will inbound. Holding and looking. Still looking. Slips it in. Threw it away. Right into the hands of Jordan. who battles his way across the timeline. Right side for Welmer. He has the shot blocked inside and picked off by Butcher. Outlet passes lobbed ahead. Here's Riggins. He catches up with it, runs down, and leaves it up and in. Riggins caught up with the lead pass. 46-25. Danny Miles, top of the key. Holds and looks. Left side. Goins fires the jumper short off the mark. The rebound of Miles. He comes around the horn, around the screen, leans inside, fires the jumper up. He forced it. Air ball rebounded by Loogootee. Here they come again. Butcher, 2-on-2, now 2-on-3, and he brings it back out. Weaves through the defense to the near side. Leaves it off for Riggins. He dumps it cross court for Nig. Nig runs down the lane, penetrates into the key, slips and walks with it. He slipped, and there's that paint that Bob referred to in the first game.
I was talking with Bill Green in the little excerpt of the press conference that we had after the game, after the Marion-Lebanon game, and Bill said, you know, Bob, you really can't fault the crew here at Market Square Arena. They did the best they could. They had a Pacer game last night. They had to get this floor in shape, and he thought they did a very, very good job of it. And I just wanted to emphasize that I wasn't faulting the crew when I did comment on it. I just mentioned it as another factor, something that you have to deal with in basketball.
Well, I'll tell you, the towel has been thrown in by Coach Bill Stearman, and unbelievably enough, it comes with 2 minutes and 36 seconds to play. And Bill Stearman is just simply saying to his counterpart, Jack Butcher, you whipped us good. 46-25, 5 new faces come on for Columbus North. And how often have you seen with 2.5 minutes remaining in a ball game, Bob, the towel being thrown in? Here comes Walls out of the game. What a game he had.
And Loogootee has got fans in more places than Loogootee as I look around us, and especially on the far side, on the north side of the Market Square Arena. Lebanon fans standing up and cheering. They were behind him all the way.
Well, they're the people's choice, as they say. Cliche number 40.
That's 37.
37, I'm sorry. Out back with it. Columbus North has 5 new faces, and this is really an announcer's nightmare now. 5 guys I've never seen before. We'll try and pick them up for you. On the far side, holding and looking inside, is Bledsoe. They continue to hold. Now they look as if they're going to stall. 2:10 to play in a ball game. 46-25. On the far side, this is Randy Goyne who is into the ball game, not Randy Goins. Goyne underneath, put the shot up and got it. Randy Goyne, as opposed to Randy Goins, who has left the ball game. And Randy Goyne has his first field goal of the game. 46-27 with 1:50. Loogootee playing catch out front on the perimeter again. Kenny Nig. Right side for Butcher. He drives. He got the easy one. Butcher just blew by his man and got the easy layup. His second field goal of the game. 48-27. Out back with it. This is Goyne holding, and now out for Garrett. Garrett drops it off. The jumper up off the back of the rim. Rebound fought for inside. Kicked ahead, and here come the Lions on the break again. The layup by Nig is good. And they're just piling it on now. 50-27. 1:13. Across the timeline on the dribble comes Robert Dell. On the left side with it for Grimes. Fires it up and misses, and here comes Loogootee again. Kenny Nig circles away from the defense. Pulls up and then clears the timeline on the right side, and Loogootee wants timeout with 59 seconds to play. Score, Loogootee 50, Columbus North 27. We pause for 1 minute on...
Oh, we've got it, 92-90. IU, the Hurrian Hoosiers, were dropped this afternoon. They were upset by Kentucky and are out of the NCAA regionals in that regional championship game. Kentucky, it's a final now, just handed us, has beaten Indiana 92-90. Our score here with 1 minute remaining, 50-27. We're back to live action now.
Up top with it, Butcher. Stutter step move, stop and go. Dribble drive to the right side, then pulls up and drops it back. And now new faces for Loogootee as well. High post on the near side. Riggins holds. Now Butcher runs down the right side, tries to beat his man, hangs, leans, fires, misses, and the ball tapped out of bounds. It's going to go to Columbus North. 50-27 with 37 seconds to play, and it's going to be Marion against Loogootee tonight at 8 o'clock here in beautiful Market Square Arena, downtown Indy.
And we've got some more substitutions now coming in, trying to pick them up as they cross. Bob Bell coming in, getting a big hand from the Loogootee fans. Bill Butcher, the coach's son, as he checks out and sits down. 37 seconds remaining, 50-27. It's all over but the shouting.
Across the timeline comes Dell. Left side with it. Goyne back up top. Dell for Goyne again on the left wing with 25 seconds. Dell circles away, comes inside with it. The drive, the shot blocked away from behind, but a whistle and a foul call. And the foul is charged to 41 Paul Hildebrand. I just can't believe that score as I look up there. But Kentucky's Joe Hall said that they were really up. And, of course, they've played much better basketball since Indiana pounded them early in the year.
Well, I think it was a matter of pride, too, for them. After taking such a trouncing, 92-90, that final, Kentucky over Indiana this afternoon. First shot is up from the free throw line. It's no good. Second one coming up shortly.
On the way with it, and it is not good. Rattled around, wouldn't fall. Hildebrand slips the pass off. Across the timeline they come. This is Robert Bell. Bobby Bell out back, runs to the left side. Has the ball slapped away with 8 seconds, 7. Columbus North has it, tapped away out of bounds. It's going to go to Columbus North with 5 seconds to play. 50-27, Loogootee. Holding and looking. In it comes, 5, 4, 3. Jumper up, not good. Rebound, Loogootee. Threw it the length of the floor. That's the ball game. 50-27.
I know for sure that when I get down there in that press conference following this game, I'm going to have to get a hold of Jack Butcher, and we're going to have to talk about how you go into Pavlov's dog training a basketball team to be so disciplined and as patient as the one that he has here. Our final score, Loogootee over Columbus North, so that makes the matchup Marion and Loogootee tonight. The final here, 50-27. We'll be back with our wrap-up after a 2-minute pause on WNAP.
Back at Market Square Arena, where Loogootee's Lions are now 27-1, having beaten Columbus North 50-27, if you can believe the final. Here's the way the scoring went. First for the Bulldogs of Columbus North, who end their campaign at 23-5. Steve Krakowski had 6 points on 3 field goals. Danny Miles, 2 field goals and 4. David Welmer, their leading scorer, had 2 field goals, 4 of 4 from the charity stripe and 8. Randy Goines had a field goal, a free throw, and 2 tries and 3. Johnny Patchell, a field goal and 2. Jordan, a pair of free throws and 2. And Goyne, a field goal and 2 in the very late going. They trailed in the ball game 8-3 at the end of the first quarter, 17-11 at the half, 31-19 at the end of the third period, and got beat 50-27. For the winning Lions of Loogootee, coached by Jack Butcher, they're now 27-1, as I said. Bill Butcher, the coach's son, who sported a 19.5 average coming into the contest, had a pair of field goals, 4 of 4 from the charity stripe, and only 8 points, but a good floor game. Kenny Nigg, their other guard, had 3 field goals, 2 free throws, and 8. Mike Walls had 4 field goals and 4 of 4 from the charity stripe and 12. Mark Riggins, pair of field goals, 4 free throws, and 8. Kenny Mattingly had 6 field goals, 2 free throws, and a total of 14 in the ball game. Loogootee was 16 of 16 from the free throw line, and we do not have the official shooting percentages from the floor as of yet. So tonight, the matchup looks like this. The Giants of Marion, 27-1 against the Lions of Loogootee, 27-1. Marion whipped Lebanon 73-65 in this afternoon's first game, and in game 2, it was Loogootee's Lions surprising Columbus North 50-27.
And that's right. We will be back tonight. The airtime is slated for 8 o'clock. Tip-off at 8:15 for the championship game in the 65th Annual Indiana High School Basketball Tournament. The final score of the Kentucky-Indiana game, Kentucky beating IU this afternoon in the NCAA Mid-East Regional Championship game, 92-90. I have got to, Neil. I've got to ask him. I'm going to go talk to Jack Butcher, and I've got to find out how he trains those boys, because they're the most patient ball club in the world, and I would hate to make a prediction. It's going to be a super fine basketball game tonight.
Looking forward to it.
And we'll be looking forward to seeing you there, too, on WNAP.
Quickly running Baker, driving shot is on the glass and good.
The finals.